Hey everybody, happy Monday. We had a long weekend of running here on my end, but I was actually at home in Bayport, New York, visiting my parents, and we had a little beach cabin for the weekend, so we were kind of bouncing around. We had the dogs, and the cabin wasn't dog friendly, so we had to bring the dogs to my parents' house, then go to the cabin after I ran, put the dogs, leave them at home, go back at night, stay in the house with the dogs, then wake up, go for my run, keep the dogs at the house, go back to the beach, etc. So it's a little crazy, a little hectic and busy. So I just wanted to go out and get my runs in, and I didn't really have any camera equipment with me or anything like that I would normally film my runs in for this vlog. So just want to give you a little recap on everything for the run. This was our peak training week. This was it, our final long run as we begin our taper. It is Monday today, so this is officially already the start of the taper week for me, and the next 3 weeks before the New York City Marathon are really going to be starting to taper off in volume. There'll still be some nice workouts mixed in there to keep the legs, awake and moving, but volume-wise, there's no more long run. I think next weekend is 12 miles on Sunday, which is the longest that it's going to be for the rest of this 3-week period. And then the weekend after that, I think the long run is like 8 miles, and then the weekend after that is the New York City Marathon. So I'll just show you a quick recap of Sunday, which was going to be our 20-mile run. I'll show you here. I actually went for a 19-mile run, and the reason for it was my ankles were just starting to bother me a little bit. And it's not a bad thing. This is, again, like pushing myself right up to that peak point before we begin our taper into the New York City Marathon. And overall, I have to say I felt really, really good during this long run, which is actually part of why I stopped it just a mile short. I just felt really good on the run. I felt like it's actually a really promising sign as we go into the New York City Marathon, that the last thing I wanted to do was just push myself a little too far where I would have tweaked my ankle any further and risked not being able to let it actually then, absorb all the training and recover along with my legs and everything else in my body as we go into New York City. So it just felt like, okay, I had done enough. I kind of started to pick up the pace a lot at the end of the run to kind of make up for the mile that I knew I was going to miss, but I just wanted to be able to get off my feet, keep and absorb those 19 miles, and like I said, not hurt anything further. So, today I feel good, just been doing a lot of foam rolling, and I'd have to say overall, even the rest of the day Sunday, I felt probably the best I've ever felt after a long run. I was, out walking around, doing all these things on the beach and at the house, and my legs weren't really sore. I wasn't really too dehydrated, and I think the weather had a lot to do with that, but just overall, my legs felt great. I was shocked and really happy again with how everything went. So if we take a look at Strava here and dive in, you'll see it was a little over 19 miles and a little over a 3-hour run. And the average pace overall was 9:55, which is, pretty good, especially for what I feel like my average heart rate was, which I think if we go down here, the average heart rate here was 134 beats per minute. So for the whole 19-mile run, I only went up, with an average of 134 beats per minute. And if you look here, the whole first, 10 miles, my heart rate was down in the 120s, 130s, which is really great for me. Again, I think this, is attributed to some of the weather changes that we saw. Even between Saturday and Sunday, the humidity went from 93% down to probably around 60% when I went running on Sunday. And the weather dropped pretty considerably from, 70 degrees down to probably below 50 or around 50 degrees when I started the run before the sun came up. So it just was a great, day conditions wise, and something that I'm hoping we can get obviously a little bit in November for the actual race. Just makes it more pleasant, more enjoyable when you can really have your body cooling itself and you don't have to do too much to really be sweating it out if it's humid or hot. So after the 10-mile point here, you can see I'm still kind of in the 120s, 130s, started to pick up the pace. I think this graph over here actually does a little bit better job. You can see started to drop into the 940s, 930s, mile 14 and 15, mile 16 around 930, then down to 927, and then mile 18 down to 915. And remember, I'm trying to just conservatively run this year and film the marathon at around 9 minutes to 9:10 per mile. So the fact that I could go down to 9:15 per mile in the 18th mile here, again after an easier run, but still around mile 18, and be in the 140s, 150s heart rate wise. Same thing. Then I just really cranked it up on the 19th mile. Again, the fact that I can even do that in a 19th mile, running 8:39, felt really good. It was comfortable. It was light on my feet. I wasn't overly straining. My heart wasn't pounding out of my chest. I wasn't breathing really heavily. And you can see here I'm in the 150s and get up to the 160s or so when I'm running that 8:39 in the 19th mile of my workout. So overall, I'm very pleased. Like I said, I felt really good recovery wise. It didn't feel like I had done anything too crazy that day. It really probably was the best I've ever felt after any long run. So overall, just happy with the curve and how I just did a nice negative split here, pretty much increasing the pace just a little bit after every mile. And like I said, I can't complain with that. So we'll take this. We'll go into our taper week, knowing that this was a really positive sign on the long run. I want to let my legs recover and rest, but keep them, moving. We'll still have a couple track workouts on Tuesdays and things in the coming weeks. I'll still be doing a little bit of work with sprints on the hills. The intensity doesn't really die out. It's just the overall mileage that starts to, taper off. So that way your legs are able to recover in between workouts. I'm still going to follow the same pattern as I go into my taper weeks. And really just the week before the marathon is going to be a lot less mileage, where the middle of the week is going to really be cut off on Wednesday. There'll be some extra rest days, and then it's really just a shakeout run before the race itself. So with all that said, I just wanted to again bring you guys up to speed with where I am in my training. I'm sorry I didn't really have anything to show you, at least with my camera, while I was on the run. I have to say it actually was kind of nice to have a different, change of scenery around me while I was running. But overall, we just needed to get out there and get it done. With that, hope to see you guys in the next video. I do have something planned very soon. I've been testing out the Apple Watch, which I guess if you bought it on the first day, it probably isn't even there yet. I believe the shipping should be arriving for most people around like October 20th or something like that. But I do have my hands on one. It's the Series 7, so I just want to do a real deep dive on how it is for runners, more focused on running and cycling. There's always been a lot of issues with the battery life and things like that compared to like my Garmin watch here, for example. So far I've been impressed, but I'm going to put all my thoughts in a video for you very soon. And like I said, it's not going to be about unboxing it or taking a look at it so much on the Apple side, and more about, is it a good, sufficient running watch or fitness watch for anybody out there? So take care, and I'll talk to you all soon.